Welcome back. My name is Harrington, owner here of Agent Mastery Coaching. And in this video, I want to go over ideas on how to make new relationships. When I was a new agent in this business, I started out and was really failing. And then I took Brian Buffini's 100 Days to Greatness program. He wanted us in that program to meet 5 new people each day. That was the instruction. Meet 5 new people each day. Well, after I met the people next door at the local restaurant, I walked by a few businesses and met them. I started to think, how can I possibly meet 5 people every day? I can barely find 5 people today. So I want to touch on different ways you can meet new people every day. I want you to hang on here, take tons of notes, because I've got a lot of them here. It's going to take a little while to go through, but I want you to take a lot of notes and I want you to think about what are you excited about? Because if you're excited about it and you want to implement it, then you're going to have fun with it and it's going to be a success. But if you just take my idea and you don't like it and it's begrudging to go through the task of building relationships that way, then don't do it. So take amazing notes. Decide which ones of these interest you and which ones that you want to implement, and come up with some of your own. This is to help you get started, because sometimes when we're starting a business, we get a little stressed out. And when we get stressed out, our creativity drops. We can't think about how to be creative in trying to find new relationships. So if you're stressed out right now and you're watching this video, this is a great way for you to open that creativity back up, put some plans in place so that you can get out there and build new relationships. So let's dive right into this thing here. First, hobby groups. What hobbies are you interested in? Do you have a group of people who you share the same hobby enthusiasm with? And when you are doing things that you love to do, that is very powerful and can bring people towards you really quickly. Let me give you an example. I have a workout group that is all guys, and it's a group called F3, and they meet each morning and they work out. They work out for 45 minutes, then they go have coffee. The 3 F's are faith, fellowship, and fitness. And in that fellowship part, I'm deep in the lives with these people. I'm not actively asking them for referrals every day, but I am building relationships in this group. When I started, there were 4 guys in my city that were doing this. Now today, there's a couple hundred. So it's a group that has really grown over time. Those people that know me know that I played soccer at the University of Portland 30 years ago. We almost won the national championship. One of my greatest regrets ever that we didn't, but we got close. I still love soccer. I'm passionate about soccer. I play in a little Father Poppy soccer league on Sunday mornings. I have enjoyed those guys for many years. I've been a part of that group for 10, 15 years now. I continue to get hurt and nurse injuries, but it's still a love that I have. So my F3 workout groups, my Sunday morning soccer group, those are my hobbies. Those are the things I love to do. What do you love to do? Put it down. When you're in these groups, you're building relationships. You got to be very careful about how much you're pushing, asking for referrals, but you're making relationships. And when you make those relationships, make sure you add them to the database. You want name, address, phone number, email address. With my Sunday soccer group, I bought jerseys for all the guys, and of course, it's got my real estate logo on them, and they all appreciate that. And over time, I've built really deep relationships with them. Next, people in technology. As we live in the technology age, many computer programmers are into gaming. Could you start a meetup group for gamers? Could you organize it, sponsor it, bring the food, organize the location? You could advertise on meetup.com. Employees in technology are very different from executives in technology companies. I want you to study the lives of these technology-driven lives. And what do they do for fun? What is a common point of interest for them? How can you get face-to-face with them? Could you offer a course at their place of work on maintaining a home at their place of work? Excuse me. Could you offer a course on maintaining homes and come to their place of work and put it on? A lot of these guys are great with computers. They're terrible at taking care of homes. They need help and direction in taking care of homes. They are 3 miles deep in computer knowledge, and they're about 3 inches deep in a lot of other places in their life. If you can get involved in their life and help them in the other areas where they're not deep, they would appreciate it, and you can add value to their life. And there's a lot of relationships there, and we live in the technological era. There was the industrial era, and now we are living in the technological era. These people are in high demand. They make a lot of money. They buy big houses. So getting in relationship with people that are in tech is important, especially if you live in an area where there's a high tech environment, like there is in Seattle, Bellevue, San Francisco. These different technology areas really have a lot of people in them that are buying big houses. So next place that you could build relationships. And this one I love. And for a long time, I didn't do a good job with this. I just went there, bought something, and left. But now I have a game plan. This is school auctions or any auction in general. Do you have any children in the local schools? If so, does their school have a yearly auction? Could you bid on all of the events offered at the auction? Wine tastings, poker night, anything that is a multiple person event, I want you to bid on it and then go and make relationships. I've made a lot of poker night relationships at these auctions. But for many years, I didn't go to these auctions with the intent to either meet people at the auction or bid on all of the events. Don't just buy the weekend retreat, take your family to the weekend retreat. We need to build relationships. So you're gonna bid on all the fun events. If it's an all women's event, maybe you accidentally bid on that too if you're a man. Just an idea. Okay, next, school sponsorships. Do you have a local school that maybe you could sponsor an Easter egg hunt for? You could take pictures of the families for free with the children and the eggs, and you could offer to mail them the picture in a small frame for free. And with that, you're gonna need to get the name and the address and the phone number and the email address of the family so that you can send them the photo. And then you could strike up conversations and stay in relationship. So we're not just sponsoring things for free, and we are doing this with a purpose. So if you sponsor something, then make sure that you have a presence there, and then that presence is giving away prizes, or there's some way that you can capture name, address, phone number, and email address from those people that are there. We're building relationships. This is a game, and we need to play it. Okay, next idea on building relationships. This one, sports teams. Do you play on any sports teams? As you know, I play in my Poppy football league, Poppy soccer league. Could you buy jerseys for the team with your logo on them? And also, if you do, don't forget to get their team roster. They could be your best supporters, and that roster is going to have the name and phone number for all the guys on the team or the women on the team. That's really important. That allows you to go through there, make relationships, take people out for lunch, see what's going on in their life, let them tell you their story, deepen these relationships. So any sports teams that you play on or any affiliations with groups that you work with, that can be very beneficial. Let's talk about your kids' sports teams and groups. Do your kids play on any sports teams? If so, can you volunteer? Now, word of caution here. Becoming the full-time coach can become very time-consuming. And when you're just building a business or you're really, really busy in real estate, it might be better to just commit to bringing the oranges. Or maybe you could volunteer to buy the kids some jerseys with your real estate business logo on them. Casually and over time, spend a little time with each of the parents and get to know them. Make it a point to meet one group of parents maybe at each game. See if there's a way that you could add value to their lives and exchange referrals. So, your kids' teams, your kids' affiliations, these can be very beneficial, but you need to get involved. And if you get involved, you need to watch how much involvement that you have. Next, professional sports. Do you have a favorite sports team in your town? Here in Seattle, it's the Seahawks. Maybe if you're in Dallas, it's the Cowgirls. Sorry, no. Cowboys. Maybe if you're in Miami, it's the Dolphins. New York, whatever it is. But is there a place where you could go and mingle with other supporters of that team? I know that in my hometown here, there's a huge Pittsburgh Steelers group, and they meet because they're foreigners here in Seattle, but they still love the Pittsburgh Steelers for whatever reason. So they meet up and they find community and people that like the Pittsburgh Steelers in Seattle. So maybe you have that in your city and you can find a bond there. Next one, religious groups. Do you belong to a church? If so, could you get involved in volunteer groups for leading hikes, working at a food bank? There's always a ton of ways to volunteer at a church. Look for opportunities that are opportunities that you would enjoy, but don't get bogged down with huge long-term commitments that you couldn't possibly fulfill. That will backfire on you. Next, business referral groups. You could start a business referral group. B&I is a great organization for doing this. Building something together with people builds really, really strong bonds. And this is a great way to also learn how to do some public speaking and meet lots of new people each week. I started a B&I group with a guy that lives north of here with me, and we grew it to 25 people. It was an excellent source of referrals for my business for a lot of years. After it had kind of plateaued for a few years, I decided to take a break from B&I, and I went and I found another B&I group that I could join that was already established. I was in that group for maybe almost 2 years. I never got one referral. So it was very eye-opening to me that when you build something from the ground up with people, you guys have a common interest to see each other succeed. When you don't build it from the ground up with other people, they don't have such a vested interest to help you succeed. So building a B&I group from the ground up can be very rewarding, takes a lot of time, and you have to be very diligent with it. But it can be a great source of business for you. Next, your local chamber of commerce. You could make a point to regularly attend the Chamber of Commerce meetings. In my town here, we have 2 meetings. There's a big one for the downtown, and there's a big one for our local area here. The big one downtown gets about 100 people. The local one here gets 35 to 50. Next, your local prestigious athletic club, or maybe it's just a very nice athletic club. Do you have one of these in your community? A lot of these have what we call social memberships. Does this club promote different speakers or events? Could you sign up to come and see some of these speaking engagements? If you can, they usually have time before the engagement to come and wear a name badge, have a cup of coffee, mingle with the people, and afterwards you could meet a few people. Your goal when you go to these is to meet 3 people. So what athletic clubs do you have in your area that offer social memberships? Take a look. Next, your local private golf clubs. It seems like every place has nice golf courses in their areas, but check around, see what you've got. Do they also have social memberships? Do they host speaker presentations? Can you sign up for as many of these speaker presentations as possible? Again, if somebody's going to come and they're going to speak about Insurance. Maybe you don't have a ton of interest in the speech about the insurance, but you're coming to a speaking event to get there early, meet people, listen to the event. After the event, meet a few more people, and then you're out. The goal, again, 3 people from each event. Next idea, your local yacht club. Ooh, this one's really prestigious. The Yacht Club in Seattle hosts a ton of presentations. Check out the presentations to meet some of the members and guests. Very, very, very fancy. I don't own a yacht. I don't want to own a yacht, but the people that own yachts, they have money. People that come to these yacht club presentations are very affluent. They're ambitious. They're upward trajectory type people. So when you go, bring your best mindset. And again, we want to meet 3 people. Next idea, local street fairs. Are there any street fairs where you could set up a tent, share information about the latest and greatest ways to sell your home for top dollar? You could promote your office's listings and invite people to maybe sign up for a real estate investing seminar. A street fair could be a good way to meet people in your community, but you have to have a really good plan of how you're going to acquire information from people. The sign up for the real estate investing seminar, that's a way that you could build your database at a street fair. You need to come with a lot of energy at those and be very ready to engage because there's a lot of people. Next, entrepreneurs groups. Are there any local entrepreneurs groups that you could join? Take a look on meetup.com and maybe see what groups meet in your area. Next, open houses. So you could sit an open house every weekend, but the key here is you have to do a great open house. You have to have a sign-in sheet, ask amazing questions, provide a ton of value. Before the open house, you could go door to door and hand out 50 invitations to the open house to show the neighbors that you're a hustler, that you're a go-getter. And after the house is under contract, you could take a gigantic card with a heading that says, "Welcome to the neighborhood," and go see another 50 homes and have them sign the card with name, address, phone number, welcoming the buyer to the neighborhood. And yes, those are people that now you can add to the database. So working open houses and the activity around the open houses, that can be a great way to add people to your database. Remember, we're trying to add 3 people for every event that you do. So if you're going to do an open house, if you're going to hand out invitations to the neighbors in the neighborhood, we'd like to meet 3 people in doing that. When we do the open house, we want to meet 3 more. And when we're done selling the house, we're going to go out with the welcome to the neighborhood card, and we're going to meet at least 3 more. I want 9 people from each open house that you do. That's building relationships around open houses, building your database. So that might change the way you look at open houses. Next, mastermind groups. I haven't done a great job with this one. I tried it one time. I was so busy with other things, I couldn't get it off the ground, but I know people that do a great job with this. So you could start a local small business mastermind group. This is for small business owners who want to ask questions and share ideas. It's a really great way for people to meet each other. So that's another idea for you. Next, local trade groups. There's a ton of these if you look. Can you join any trade associations that you would qualify for? You're probably in real estate because you're not a part of the bar association, so that's probably not an option. But some of these groups have a ton of members and can lead to great relationships. For example, the local apartment owners association. Wouldn't hurt you to sell a couple of apartment buildings over the next few years. Those generally sell for a pretty good price. Next, LinkedIn. You could connect with LinkedIn contacts and set up meetings one by one, maybe over a cup of coffee. Probably don't want to do it over food, that could get expensive, but it couldn't hurt to ask them. But watch out how much time you spend on this. This could allow you to target really who you want to meet as well. So LinkedIn could be a source for building your database. Next, builders. How about builders? Where are they? They're everywhere. I want you just to get in your car and drive the community. Meet them on their construction sites. Remember, you'd ideally like to meet the developer. The superintendent that's on the construction sites generally doesn't make the real estate buying decisions. If you could have 5 to 10 builder contacts and another 5 to 10 remodeler contacts, you could have a great business. Let's say that you have 5 builders building homes that you're going to get the listings on, and you have 5 remodelers that are remodeling houses that you're going to get the listings on, all in 1 year. You'd have 10 listings right there. That's a good business just in and of itself. You know, you're also going to run across people that aren't always interested in top dollar as their number one priority in selling a house. And they might not want to let all their neighbors and the whole entire world come into their house because maybe they're ashamed of the condition of their house and most of the value is in the land of their house. To have a stable of builders and remodelers that you could refer to in those situations that could make cash offers and make it done silently and quickly and get the objectives done for the client, that would be a huge plus. As I stand here right now, maybe in the videos you've seen this Tissot watch. This watch was given to me by an 81-year-old man who was born in this house, and it was the only house he ever lived in. And the house became so dilapidated that he finally needed to make a decision to move into something that was less maintenance and upkeep. So I helped him in selling his home to a builder, and he was so thankful that I got it done quietly and that he didn't have any humiliation by people having to come to his house. And he lived in a very prestigious neighborhood. And so as a thank you gift, he gave me this $2,500 watch. And I always wear it in thought of him. He was a very generous gentleman, and I miss him a lot. But you just never know when you're going to come across somebody in this business that wants to sell a home, and they just want to do it very quietly and very quickly. So having builders and remodelers is a really, really helpful situation in that case. On top of meeting builders and remodelers, you could join the local builders association. In my area, it's called the Master Builders Association. They often have a lot of speaking events, such as well-known economists. Builders want to know when the economy is going to fall apart. You can attend these events and you can exchange business cards. Again, you want to meet 3 people at each meeting. Next, local businesses. The local businesses are always a great source of connection. You can make it a point to meet 5 new local businesses each week. Let them know that you would like to develop a relationship and pass clients back and forth. And would they be interested in having a cup of coffee so that you guys could learn about each other's businesses more? This is great with attorneys, restaurant owners, retailers, and a whole lot more. So don't overlook your local business owners. Next, you could hold a seminar. You could put the seminar on about investing in real estate. Successful people love to invest in real estate. What do they say? 90% of self-made millionaires made their money in real estate. So there's a lot of love for real estate. These take time to build up and to advertise. But when you get them up and running, you're going to have a nice list of people who would come and buy property if the opportunity presented itself. This could be advertised maybe if you did a street fair. You could also advertise it at your open houses. You could advertise it on LinkedIn, your other social media, the local newspaper. If you're doing a farm mailing, wherever you can put your advertisement for your seminar, it would be great. Also, you could go to the local banks, meet the local bankers, and invite them to the seminar. Even if they said, hey, no thank you, you're going to have met another banker, and you can never have enough bankers. Additionally, you could add a twist to the seminar if you wanted. You could procure a list of doctors in your area and mail to them maybe 4 weeks in a row with a fancy invitation to a presentation entitled Exclusively for Doctors, a doctors only real estate investment pool, and that might spark some interest. Doctors also love to invest in real estate. A lot of times they're way too tired, way too busy to go out, look at real estate, figure out the ways to acquire it. They like help acquiring it and owning it. And a lot of times doctors have significant means to acquire property. Next, holiday parties. Let the holidays bring you new relationships. Choose big holidays that you want to throw a party for. Example, pictures with Santa. In this event, invite your friends and neighbors for a free picture with Santa. The neighbors will fill out the picture delivery card so that now you have their contact information. One of my other favorites is a 4th of July party. And you're going to invite your friends and encourage them to bring some of their friends also. On Halloween, throw a party with a costume contest, but everybody fills out an entry form for the costume contest, gets a picture taken, enters the contest, and all of these events generate additional people for your database. Don't let the holidays go by without using these opportunities to build your database. Next idea is big sporting events parties. The Super Bowl is a great reason to throw a party. Make sure you invite your friends and also allow them to invite their friends as well. You want to put on a big spread of food, lots of drinks. You can play a game such as guess the combined score. Everybody fills out a card with their guess. Winner gets a 2-night stay in a nice resort, and you get contact information from all the people at your party. This could also really work well for something like the World Cup soccer final, or maybe if there's some huge baseball or basketball game, whatever it is that everybody that you're associated with is into. But make it fun and make it memorable. So I've gone over a lot of ways that you could build additional relationships. The last one that I want to touch on here builds on all of the other ones. This is my tier 2 referral idea. You can get referred to great people with this idea. So here's how it works. Every time that you're going to talk with an influential person, you're going to ask them, who is the best estate attorney that you know? Who is the best financial advisor that you know? Who is the best mortgage broker that you know? When you get these names, I want you to triangle of trust your way into a meeting with the person. You should really keep a list of your accounts pyramid. An accounts pyramid is a list of the different major professions that you are trying to build relationships with. For instance, estate attorneys, financial advisors, divorce attorneys, luxury appraisers, private school executives, insurance salesmen, mortgage brokers, title reps, home inspectors, escrow officers, HR people, interior designers, doctors, dentists, restaurateurs, daycare facilities, auto dealership owners. There is a ton of professions you can put on your accounts pyramid. So what I want you to do is before you meet with somebody influential, I want you to look at your accounts pyramid. And at the end of the conversation or your meeting, maybe you're having lunch, you're going to ask, hey, Bob, just out of curiosity, who is the best family doctor in your area that you know? Or, hey, Bob, just out of curiosity, who is the best financial advisor that you know? Or maybe it's just out of curiosity, who is the best divorce attorney that you know? This is really, really powerful. When they give you a name, you need to write it down. And you need to keep a list of these people and make sure that you contact them quickly and ask them to lunch with the triangle of trust conversation. Very, very important. I have met a ton of people this way. And if you want a quick way to build a referral partner, you triangle of trust your way into big relationships, it will happen very quickly. Okay, so I think I gave you enough ways to build relationships to make your head spin. I hope you took a ton of notes. You can't do all of these all at the same time. And with planning, you'll have a better results than if you just shoot for the hip or you go with the wind on this. So get a calendar out and pick some holidays for throwing parties. Go and visit your local golf courses, yacht clubs, and private social membership locations. Make a plan of what you want to do for the next 6 to 12 months to build relationships. But always remember, anytime we show up, we make 3 new relationships. You make 3, you win. You don't, you wasted your time. This is a game and you need to have fun with it. In the next video, I'm gonna go over how to qualify your relationships and organize them in your database. I'll see you in the next video.